Jack and Ted first.
Two friends
of mine and great
morning
radio show
in Tampa,
in
Florida,
WFLA.
Here's Jack
and Ted this morning
with Newt
Gingrich.
You are a progressive. That your favorite presidents are FD, or let's see.
This is where they're saying that you're accusing him of these things.
Teddy Roosevelt, and then you said the greatest president of the century is FDR. And what is your response to that vis-a-vis conservatives?
Well, it is baloney.
Oh my God!
Good one.
You put me in my place because it's baloney.
Oh, what you
that he
in my
thinks
place?
that
Think
FDR is the greatest president of the 20th
century.
Pious baloney? Are you on the pious baloney?
I might be.
I am not a pious baloney.
Because I want you to hear.
I want you to hear it beyond the baloney part. Question.
From claiming that you are
You
a
are
progressive.
a
That your
progressive.
favorite presidents are FD, or let's see, Teddy Roosevelt, and then you said the greatest president of the century is FDR. And what is your response to that vis-a-vis conservatives?
Well, it is baloney.
Here we go
That's
again.
a pretty good one.
Baloney.
I don't know what Ken problem is. He obviously has never read my writing. I've written 3 novels about George Washington, 4 novels that involve Abraham Lincoln. The fact is, the greatest American president is Washington. The second greatest American president is Lincoln. If you measure his World War II achievements, FDR is an extraordinary leader. We defeat Nazi Germany, fascist Italy, and Imperial Japan in 3 years and 8 months. It is an extraordinary act of leadership. I disagree with you about the New Deal. I disagree with you about his liberal policies. But as a war leader, he's extraordinary.
Okay. I'm not going to
defend this.
First of all, I
First of all,
will say,
I would say,
read Newt Gingrich's book.
I haven't read this. I interviewed Newt Gingrich. I don't blame him. It doesn't write books about George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. I'll know some autographed
from him.
So
I've read them.
I haven't read them.
I talked to him
about his work. I know Newt Gingrich on my office space and others.
What you said.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
He says that the greatest American president of all time is George Washington. The second greatest is Abraham Lincoln. And if you only look at World War II at the accomplishment of defeating the Nazis, it was an extraordinary leader that did that in FDR. Remember this. He is not saying this is the greatest American president of the 20th century. He is not saying that he's the greatest American president of all time. He's not saying that. As he says it here.
I'll give you my biased answer, which always gets me in trouble on the right. No one is FDR. FDR is the greatest practitioner of self-government.
Stop.
I want you to hear it.
I want you to hear it again.
Caveats.
He's got caveats.
In the first 10
or 12 years.
He's the greatest
practitioner
of self-government. That's pretty amazing.
Especially when he himself just said he had problems with his liberal policy.
Right. So a liberal policy.
Self-government.
Because that's what defeated the
Nazis.
Defeat the Nazis.
I guess
oh, God.
No, okay.
Well, certainly in the 20th century, and maybe in American history. And FDR, as governor of New York in good times, was very progressive. The greatest politician of the 20th century in this country, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Okay, greatest politician that time. Greatest politician of the 20th century. Well, that's different than the greatest president, because one of the greatest politicians of the 20th century, I think, is Bill Clinton.
Right, so that's a little bit
different.
Yes.
Although, we should also point out that the reason he was praising him in the last clip was because in good times he was very progressive and
he could get things done. Yeah.
Okay. Keep on going.
In good time.
The greatest liberal democratic president of the 20th century.
Stop.
The latest. So now it's
the
liberal democratic.
Yeah, the liberal democratic.
20th century.
20th century.
So you could
so
say,
that
he would go
to
in the 20th century.
He would say the greatest
Republican would be
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yes.
He goes to Theodore Roosevelt.
He goes to Theodore Roosevelt.
So another captain.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The greatest democratic president of the 20th century, and in my judgment, the greatest president of the 20th century.
Stop!
Wait a minute.
Hang on.
Democratic president Dennis.
No.
The greatest president
That's the baloney.
No, that's baloney.
That's baloney.
He just said. No, that's
baloney.
But wait, he just said the greatest president.
You
He won the war.
I'm sure that's what he's going to say.
Oh,
Democratic president, and in his judgment,
I get it. I get it. Okay.
Because he just said
earlier
that it's baloney. He doesn't know what my problem is. He's written books about George Washington. Yeah. Well, you know what? I've written books about Woodrow Wilson. I've written books about.
You got a problem, boy. You got a problem. You got a problem.
That doesn't mean anything. I can write all kinds of books. That doesn't mean anything.
And how you want to do that?
Saying, sir, is that you love the policies of Theodore Roosevelt, the policies of FDR.
Okay.
You are on record over and over and
I don't
over
want you to
again. If anybody wants to look at it, play some more clips.
Oh, I don't want you over there. Play
president of the 20th century.
Take a look.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FDR is the greatest political leader of the 20th
Theodore
century.
Roosevelt.
Who's your favorite modern day politician? FDR.
One more time.
And if you go back and look at someone like
FDR.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt,
One more time.
he is such a dominating figure because he actually got things done.
One more time.
If you look at FDR defending America as a positive optimistic civilization in 1933, John's father was one of the great...
Stop. 1933?
1933?
The war didn't start till 1941.
No, but he knew the war was coming, and that's why he was
positive, country. In 1933, we were only defending it inside our own country. He was selling the New Deal in 1983. But remember this, he hates the New Deal.
Of the New Deal, a man who, as an FDR Democrat, created modern America.
Created
what?
The New Deal. Wait a minute.
He's praising somebody who was a stalwart of the New Deal that created modern America.
Hang on.
I
think we have another candidate that has said almost the same thing.
We do. Luckily, we're getting bipartisan here because, to paraphrase a little bit here, the president, because it's a longer quote, President Obama, we contribute to programs like Medicare and Social Security, unemployment insurance, and Medicaid. We are a better country because of these commitments. Although further, we would not be a great country without those commitments.
So we have
created a New Deal has created modern America.
Well, I agree with that.
I understand.
But I don't think that's
but I think it's a good thing.
But Newt Gingrich, no matter what he says, is on record over and over again. Saying
this.
Oh, no, that's baloney.
Baloney. Okay, well, change the subject. Change the subject, guys.
Over 2 decades, over and over again. That's my only problem. He did say.
I think that John and his father represent a tradition that we all have to recognize.
Change the subject.
And recognize that the America we are now going to try to lead grew from that tradition and is part of that great heritage.
Hey, stop. The great heritage of the New Deal. We're going to lead from the New Deal. And that's where we're coming from.
But the good thing is, it's only FDR.
And okay, you know, that's only
you said FDR. Come on.
Okay, Woodrow Wilson.
Wilson's speeches still work. I mean, I'm frankly a realpolitik Wilsonian. I think that you can talk about realism, but to be an American, realism is idealistic.
Oh, you mean like the speech, the realpolitik Wilsonian speech that still works today, where he's praising the revolution, the glorious revolution in Russia, and how they are a great partner for peace. Maybe that particular speech still works.
That's baloney.
No, that's baloney.
I don't know what your problem is.
You can say baloney all you want,
but
I warn you,
it's looking to the United Nations in Wilson's time. It would have been the League of Nations, which gives us great hope. That's not a conservative idea. That's not a small government idea. But that's baloney. If you think he's sad,
it's just FDR and Woodrow.
Yeah, Woodrow. We get that. We get that.
Theodore Roosevelt Republican. In fact, if I were going to characterize my health where I come from, I'm a Theodore Roosevelt Republican, and I believe government can lead and that regulatory leading is okay. Roosevelt set up the Food and Drug Act.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to health. Because that's why he's on the record for 20
whole years
wanting government health insurance. That's what he's wanting. What you now have heard. Well, you don't have it yet.
You haven't yet. You're paying for it,
but you don't
have it yet.
What you now are about to get. What they have now in Massachusetts, what he's been angling for 20
whole years.
Everybody throws Romney under the bus. Newt Gingrich is far worse. He's been saying he wants to do federally for a long time. And when it comes to health, I mean, he categorizes himself really as Theodore Roosevelt. And Theodore Roosevelt is the first person that said we should have universal health care.
No, that's baloney.
Really?
Because
seriously, I don't care if it's baloney.
But it's just FDR. It's just Wilson. All right. It's just Theodore Roosevelt.
Stop it! Stop it!
South Carolina.
Keep going.
South Carolina in the Revolutionary War had a young 13-year-old named Andrew Jackson. He was sabred by a British officer and wore scars.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
America's enemies. Killed them.
Kill them. And that's a good thing, because at the time our enemy was, you remember the Soviet Union with Stalin.
No, it was Native American.
You guys.
No, it was Jackson. Nazi.
No, it was Jackson. That was the one that drove
Davy Crockett to the Alamo.
He was so disgusted with Andrew Jackson, an American hero, went to the
Alamo
because he
couldn't
take it
anymore.
Because everything that he had promised the Native Americans, Andrew Jackson destroyed. So the enemy that he's now praising, Andrew Jackson had a pretty good idea with the enemy. Kill him. He's just talking about the Native Americans. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. South Carolina did a thing. I wholeheartedly endorse.
All right. That's enough, please.
I don't know what my problem is with him.
I don't know what your problem is. I'm not endorsing Newt Gingrich.
I apologize because I didn't
hear
Newt Gingrich, the baloney. What he was
right on his darn mouth.
I didn't hear the baloney argument against the. How long is that? Just play the FDR thing in its entirety. I won't interrupt. Let's
just listen to Pat just not looking for just going out one morning
and saying, what can you find on him with FDR? Here it is. Started. It's 18 after 15 seconds.
Mark.
I'll give you my biased answer, which always gets me in trouble on the right. No one is FDR. FDR is the greatest practitioner of self-government, certainly in the 20th century, and maybe in American history.
Oh boy.
Was very progressive. The greatest politician of the 20th century in this country, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The greatest liberal democratic president of the 20th century, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The greatest democratic president of the 20th century, and in my judgment, the greatest president of the 20th century. The most effective president of the 20th century, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. FDR is the greatest political leader of the 20th century.
Who's your favorite modern-day politician?
FDR. And if you go back and look at someone like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he is such a dominating figure because he actually got things done. If you look at FDR defending America as a positive, optimistic civilization in 1933, John's father was one of the great stalwarts of the New Deal, a man who, as an FDR Democrat, created modern America. And I think that John and his father represent a tradition that we all have to recognize and respect, and recognize that the America we are now going to try to lead grew from that tradition and is part of that great heritage. And what we're talking about is a transition at least as big as, if not bigger than, the New Deal.
So that's only a minute and a half.
That's only 90 seconds.
Only 90 seconds.
That's 1 minute and
29 seconds.
Baloney, and I don't know what you're.
Don't you dare say baloney! Please.
It's no big deal.
Oh God.
Don't say
baloney, please.
And
if you say baloney one more time, I get myself mixed up. It makes me laugh like a pillow.
I've had network executives.
You know, I have network executives, Premier Radio Networks, whatever it is.
Don't FDR as a
I don't want to hear no FDR. I don't hear no baloney.
What was he?
See?
He was oppressive. The New Deal destroyed us. People don't
get it that way.
Maybe they should.
Maybe just focus
on
Obama. Okay?
That category seems to run among a lot of big government progressive conservatives.
Yeah.
And a lot of liberals, too. Seem to have the same
Liberals are dumb. Liberals are dumb.